Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. Today is the patch day actually, so I'm a little late on this, but I figure now is as good a time as any to do another patch note rundown for 7.6. As always, I'm going to be talking about the most important changes in today's patch, and what you guys should be looking forward to when you enter the Rift today. First and foremost, I definitely want to talk about Galio. The Galio rework is out. He is currently live. You can play him. He looks like he's a blast. I haven't had a chance to play him quite yet, but he's going to be awesome when he does. I have played a couple of games with him already, and it's really cool. Next up, let's go on to actual balance changes. First up is Aatrox. Aatrox is still suffering following his rework. He has a few issues with his kit. The hotfixes did do him a decent amount of justice in the last patch, but he still needs a little bit more, so he's getting a few quality of life buffs. So these aren't strictly speaking buffs, but they do increase his power. So, first of all, Aatrox now gains a full blood well upon reviving, so he's not quite in as vulnerable of a state once he actually gets out of his most vulnerable state, which is his revive passive. Bloodwell also no longer resets his W stacks. If he has a Blood Price or Bloodthirst auto attack charged when he gets the revive passive procced, he will immediately have that available to him upon successfully reviving. Also, he was hotfix buffed, so we may as well recount those there. Darkflight's cooldown was lowered, his base health was increased, and Blood Price's base damage has also gone up. So Aatrox mains should be a little bit stronger. Hopefully we can get Aatrox into a slightly better spot than he was before. Next up, Gnar is actually receiving a few buffs. The biggest issue being that when he's behind, there's practically nothing he can do. He can never build the Fury to get into Mega Gnar, and he just heals so very slowly as Mini Gnar. So Riot are actually smoothing out his base health regen and his health regen growth stat across the board between Mega and Mini, so Gnar has at least a reasonable amount of healing when he's, no matter what form he's in. So he has the same base health regen and health regen growth stat no matter what form he's in. That's important. And then he also can queue another spell during Crunch's cast time, which should make the Crunch Gnar combo a lot more reliable and let you get more team-wide stuns if you can queue that up successfully. Next up, Misfortune is getting buffed. Lethality, Deathfire Touch, and Double Up nerfs all really hurt Misfortune, so she's not quite as good as she was before, especially in the AD carry role, which is where she should be played most of the time. Obviously, Support Misfortune was affected by these too, but AD Misfortune was really hurt by these. So she's getting buffed in those specific categories. Double Up now has a higher base damage and ratio. The range also scales with attack range, so if you have a rapid fire cannon, you can double up someone at the rapid fire cannon range as opposed to kind of having to be this weird combo when you attack and then you have to run forward to double up. It also no longer has a brief delay after casting, and this is true of Make It Rain as well. Misfortune can use the ability and then immediately start moving afterwards, which fits a lot more with her kind of run-and-gun play style that she was supposed to have, as opposed to using the ability and kind of freezing in place and then getting murdered. Next up, Quinn is getting nerfed. If you've played against a Quinn recently, you know how crazy she can be. Targeted gap closer, 80 gazillion movement speed, and once she gets on you, you die. So, Riot are shifting her more from a burst-focused playstyle to a damage over time-focused playstyle. Now, they didn't touch the primary ways she bursted, which is the Q Harrier, E Harrier combo. So, who knows how effective this will be, but they did do at least a little bit for us. Heightened Senses now gives more attack speed on a Harrier proc than it did before. However, behind enemy lines ratio has been decreased fairly substantially. So at the very least, Quinn won't be doing as much upfront burst damage once she procs the R, dashes at you, and gets the Harrier proc. Quinn will also always respawn with Valor once she puts one rank in her ultimate, so that'll be at least a small quality of life buff for Quinn, make it a little bit nicer. Finally, Warlord's Bloodlust is getting not necessarily buffed, not necessarily reworked in this patch, but it is getting changed. Currently, because it works on lifesteals depend on a lot of things like enemy armor and the various different things. And the problem with Warlord's Bloodlust is that it was healing for wildly disparate amounts depending on who you were attacking. Kiting the front line wasn't nearly as rewarding as just hitting a minion wave, for example. So the changes today are meant to smooth out the healing between Warlord's Bloodlust attacks and make it at least a little bit nicer for how it's supposed to work. The healing has been changed from lifesteal to a flat heal based on your AD, and the heal can crit if the attack crits. So this is actually a huge boon for the crit AD carries that are starting to come back into the meta, might want to start taking this mastery, and it also means that successfully kiting the front line is a lot more rewarding than hitting them and healing for nothing on your Warlord's Bloodlust. So we'll see if this increases its popularity just a little bit more. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today. It was a very small patch day, not that many changes, so go out and play the new Galio already. He's very, very cool. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. If you really enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will talk to you all later.